Diamonds are forever. They won't leave in the night. I've no fear that they might desert me. Diamonds are forever, forever, forever. Diamonds are forever, forever, forever,
Mr. Bond.
Record high was reached in COVID-19 hospitalizations, amassing a total of 132,646 hospitalizations in a single day. However, Dr. Fauci said in a statement that people who have been vaccinated and boosted against the virus will likely fare much better than those who have not. In other news, U.S. inflation rose to an annual rate of 7% last year, the Labor Department reported Wednesday. The jump in the Consumer Price Index in December compared to a year earlier was the fastest since 1982. Pandemic-related supply problems contributed to the slight increase from November's 6.8% pace. I'm Shiloh Hammerland, and thank you for watching.
Welcome to Hand Top.
Last week, tragedy struck the small town of New Canaan, Connecticut after an on-ice accident took the life of St. Luke's high school sophomore Teddy Balkind in a game at Brunswick School. The incident became a national headline as support for Teddy's family, team, and community poured in from organizations around the country such as the Carolina Hurricanes, the New York Rangers, New York Islanders, New Jersey Devils, and Bauer Hockey, along with other teams and hockey companies. In a post on Twitter by Hockey Hall of Famer Martin St. Louis, who had sons who played at Brunswick, said, "We have heavy hearts in our local hockey community. My thoughts and prayers are with Teddy's family, teammates, friends, and everyone impacted by this tragedy."
I think it is because gear these days are made way better and have better protection than like 5-6 years ago.
I think there is enough safety when it comes to high school hockey because an event kind of like this where someone gets hurt playing that badly, doesn't happen that often, So because of that, I feel like, there's not too much of a risk in playing hockey that we need so many safety precautions. So I think it's enough how much you have now.
I've heard of it. I think people have just been more cautious because of that, because it was like a really bad accident.
Well, I've heard about it, and it doesn't really change how I play because something like that doesn't happen that much, So it doesn't worry me when I play. It's just happens every so often, and when it happens, it sucks, but, it doesn't happen every game, so it's just not something you think about.
This week on Cheap Thrills, we went to the first NHS clothing swap hosted by the Thrift Club. The Thrift Swap is a great way to give old clothes a new purpose and support local thrift stores. All of the clothes were completely free. We met with the Thrift Club co-founder Audrey Johnson to better understand their mission.
So this is our first clothing swap, and I think it's going really well. I think it's awesome that we can take clothes directly from our club members and give them directly to other club members, as opposed to them going to the thrift stores and then having 90% of that not even being sold. Be able to give clothes that we don't need directly to people that want them is a great thing, and I think we definitely want to do more of these in the future. So basically we just had our first meeting this week, but we're hoping to do bi-monthly or at least once a month meetings for the rest of the school year. Doing a lot of outreach, we want to do different presentations on fast fashion and how we can switch to slow fashion and thrifting and more sustainable practices. A lot of education and also teaching our peers how to shop sustainably and make more responsible fashion choices is super important, and we want to definitely dig into that for the remainder of the school year. When starting this club, we didn't want it to be just NHS based. We wanted to also make sure we were doing community outreach. So making sure people in the community have the right clothes. We want to do winter clothes drives so people have coats and don't have to buy them firsthand. And outside of NHS is definitely important to also get involved in the mission.
Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to follow NHS Thrift on Instagram and keep up with the events and meetings throughout this year.
Autism spectrum disorder, also known as ASD, is a developmental disability that can cause significant social, communication, and behavioral challenges. On average, 1 in every 44 American children are diagnosed with ASD, according to a study from 2018. However, there are likely many people with ASD that are never diagnosed. Understanding this information, we sat down with Associate Director of Student Services, Celeste Malvezi, to understand how the school supports individuals on the spectrum.
I believe as a community, as a school community, that we value diversity and difference, and that there is a general understanding that people have different and unique qualities and learning styles. It's important for people to know autism is a spectrum. Students who fall on the autism spectrum, can present differently from one another. It's not a one size fits all, and we could probably find ways to broaden people's understanding in our community about that. Some students will qualify for a 504 plan, which can provide accommodations. Some students are eligible for an individualized education plan, an IEP, through special education. There are students who are enrolled in a learning strategies class, which is, a smaller special education class taught by a special ed teacher. If there are additional or different supports that students need, we come together as a team and we figure that out, and we make that happen. In many regards, autism can be a gift. And, many students with autism are incredibly smart, they're creative, and have a wide variety of talents.
We also sat down with August Shar, NHS student and segment producer for The Transcript, to learn more about their experience and how students with ASD find success in their academic careers.
Sometimes I have trouble with holding eye contact. It can be kind of distracting for me to keep eye contact with someone for a long amount of time. I'm kind of sensitive to some sounds and other, sensory things. I think one of the common symptoms that is for diagnosis with autism is subject fixation. Like, let's say like a hobby or just something that I enjoy that I would like, just hypothetically, that I would fixate onto and be like hyper-focused on that one thing. Like when I was a kid, like when I was a little kid, I used to be super into trains, and that was my hyper-fixation. But now it's more like video games and stuff, although it can be multiple things. Like I've focused into like a couple different subjects and things, but mainly, I guess, now it's video games.
Thank you to Ms. Malvezi and August for their insights. I'm Shiloh Hammerland, and thank you for watching.
With COVID-19 cases on the rise due to the highly contagious Omicron variant, we took to the halls of NHS to ask students how they felt about how the school is handling COVID-19 and ask different students their thoughts on how COVID will continue to affect the school community and the rest of the school year. Do you think pool testing and like regular COVID testing at school is like a helpful thing to do, or do you think it's just not really doing anything to affect like the COVID numbers in our school?
I think it's effective, but I think it should be mandatory, because if kids aren't doing it, then it's not really going to do anything. So I think also for sports it should be mandatory until the numbers go down.
How do you think like COVID's going to affect like in-person school and the rest of the school year?
I think the administration is going to try and do everything they can to keep students in school. I would hope that there is an online option, but I don't know that that's going to become a reality.
How has like COVID and the surge of cases impacted like you and like school?
I think it's just like this, like the fright that somebody might be sick and like not know it, and then just like having to like leave school early or like having to stay at home, I guess. Yeah.
How do you think COVID will continue to impact the school year?
We definitely have a lot more kids getting sick, and it's gonna like a lot of people are gonna miss school, and a lot of people aren't gonna feel safe to come to school.
Thank you. How do you think Northampton schools have been handling COVID? Do you think they've been doing like a good job or a really bad job?
I think that they've been like overall been like really laid back with it, which in some ways is good, but like especially right now with all the cases exploding, like they're not like canceling school or offering an alternative to like in-person schooling, so I don't think they're doing a very good job in that sense.
Thanks so much for watching. Remember to continue to wear
some prepared remarks, and then, excuse me, I have some prepared remarks, and then I'll be taking some questions. So I just want to congratulate the winner of the 2021-2022 Fantasy Faculty Football League, Mr. Paul Fitzgerald. Paul has shown real grit and determination. You know this already. He runs marathons as fun. And he also hangs out with high schoolers, which is also a marathon in itself. I'd like to also congratulate last place team Dumpster Fire, Miss Regano Murray, and also somebody who shall not be named.
You know, I really think it's an American success story, quite frankly, that someone like Fitzy, who is skillless, talentless, lacking any kind of basic intelligence, is able to win the league is, well, quite frankly, it's heartwarming.
Just wanted to point out that it was a hard-fought season, and I will open up for questions.
Question down here. How do you think Levi Armstrong with the transcript? How do you think the season went this year?
I think the season went well. I think the thing that we found out is that we need to work harder. And what I mean by that is we were not actually paying attention to our classes, we were doing trades, and we literally need to work harder as educators. The second lesson that we learned, obviously, is that after receiving information about some collusion that winners never cheat and cheaters never win.
Jeremy, what about Gabriella Fox from the transcript? What about the pine tree incident?
You know what? We're done with questions. Thank you very much. We're out of here.
This isn't my past, present, and future for bacon. What were you thinking about before? I told you not to go to the dark forest. It's too dangerous.
It ain't our fault. Besides, we didn't do anything wrong.
If you go to the creek, you die, and you'll never come back, ever.
Wait, what's a creek? We need your help. The orcs are causing ruckus around Puerto Rico.
I know what you're thinking. We can't fight orcs because we're castaways and we ran out of food.
Well, once you eat healthier, maybe you can help us?
Exactly.
You're a lifesaver. We ought to get some food right now. Come on, boys.
Thanks. I owe you one.
You're very welcome. We better go until it gets dark. See you soon.
What the chicken is going on over there? What are those?
Those are zombies and those are lagoons and that guy's kickflip.
Oh geez, not kickflip. I don't want to fight him.
Hello.
Attack!